We need Michael Jackson. We must have Michael Jackson. How do we get Michael Jackson? In February 1989, fax communications from Kenneth Choi flooded into Jerome Howard's office regarding the Jackson Mooney project. Still, no one wanted to approach Michael just yet. They were afraid they would give him an instant no, and that would be the end of it. Finally, in desperation, the Koreans came up with an idea, Jerome recalled. A reward. A bounty was placed on Michael's head. The price, $1 million. Anyone, family member, or business associate who could get Michael's signature on the contract would get $1 million. Money that would come straight from the Moonies. Now, everyone wanted to approach Michael, Jerome concluded with a chuckle, and right away. Catherine decided to take the provable bull by the horns and telephone Michael at Neverland to give it her best shot. As she gently tried to explain the proposed tour, feeding him information about as gingerly as possible, Joseph stood nearby pacing. Finally, he was about to burst. He snatched the phone from her hand. Michael, now you listen here, he declared. You said you wanted us to be a family again, he said, referring to their last telephone conversation from Japan. No, like, I got these rich Koreans and they got this big deal. I want you to do this thing, Michael, because we're gonna make a lot of money and we need this money, and you know we do. And just to put mother back on the phone. Michael then told Catherine to forget about it. He didn't even consider another family venture, especially if Joseph was involved in it. He reminded Catherine of the time in 1985 when Joseph aligned with a Hollywood producer to develop a film based on Fiat, which was to star Michael, and Michael didn't know anything about it. He later had to disavow the project, which he said was embarrassing. He's always doing things to get me involved in projects with him, and I'm not going along with it, Michael said. He didn't want to tour the brothers again either. It's over, he told his mother. I mean it, he concluded. Forget it. Cat? Michael often calls his mother Cat. I want to do it, and I want you to please drop it. Do you understand? The good old days when Catherine was able to convince Michael to do anything she asked him were clearly in the past. By February 1989, financial matters had gotten so desperate for Joseph and Catherine that they could no longer afford to pay Jerome Howard his salary. He had settled for $3,000 a month, even though they had originally agreed to pay him $10,000, and now he wasn't getting anything. Therefore, he became even more interested in concluding the Jackson Million project, not only to generate revenue for the family, but for himself as well. He decided to go directly to Frank DeLeo for assistance. Unfortunately, no one in the family knew how to get to Frank. The brothers barely knew him, and Catherine and Joseph never liked to meet with him about anything because they claimed he would then go back to Michael and misrepresent what they had said. Catherine, in particular, didn't like Frank, especially after he said she was crazy for thinking Michael could do a better show with his brothers. Jerome finally had to pay an associate of Frank's $2,000 for introduction to Frank, who, as it turned out, is in a rate reduction center run by Duke University in North Carolina. Jerome called Frank and arranged a meet for them with Kenneth Choi. It took place in a North Carolina hotel at the end of February 1989. Frank told Kenneth that if Catherine was involved in the deal, he would talk to Michael about it. He loves his mother, said Frank. I don't know. I ain't promising nothing, but maybe at this point, Kenneth opened his briefcase and took out two cashier's checks made out for $500,000. These are for you, he declared, $1 million. Frank laughed in his face. I can't take $1 million from you. What are you, crazy? He said. I can't guarantee Michael Jackson will do anything for you. Michael is a smart man. He makes up his own mind. No one tells him what to do anything. Do you understand that? As promised, Frank then discussed the situation with Michael. Michael said he didn't want to be involved. Frank told him to think it over, and maybe you'll change your mind, maybe you won't. It's your decision. It was business as usual, Frank recalled. Everything was hunky dory. Michael and Frank were inseparable. He was prominently featured on the band record jacket. A picture of him and Michael was captioned, "Another great team." Michael also devoted a full page of photos of him and Frank in his lavish concert tour booklet. In fact, Frank had often said that he thought of Michael as a son, and he referred to me as a second dad. I was with the kid every day, he recalled. Some days you could have a decent conversation with him. Some days he was on another planet, but I got closer to him than anybody else in his life. Frank had been advised Michael about the taboo subject of plastic surgery, telling him that when he was a youngster, he too had a cleft in his chin like Kirk Douglas. But that's enough, he told Michael. No more surgery. After 5 years of working for him, Frank DeLeo may have thought he was in good standing with Michael Jackson, that the relationship was, as he put it, hunky dory. He would have been wrong.